I know why Chelsea will want to sign him. Why would he want to go to Chelsea, NiiNii?
Most players have a choice between Manchester City and Manchester United. They choose the red side.
Hello, welcome to Hold the L. My name is Flav, and this is a brand new football debate show on the Super 6 YouTube channel where it's not about getting a dub. It's about making sure you're not the one left holding the L. Super 6 is a free-to-play weekly prediction game where you can win yourself £250,000. And it starts again next season. Holding the L last week was NiiNii because he suggested that Van de Beek was a bigger flop than Timo Werner this season.
And I agree, he should be playing more games, but you can't compare him to players that have played week in, week out, missed big chances, are the reason why their team's not in the title race.
It's a fair argument, I think, but 40% of you went over to the community tab and voted for NiiNii to hold the L this week. And that's where we are. That's why he's holding the L. On Hold the L this week, we have NiiNii, we've got Akeem, and we've got Stephen McInerney, and we're discussing where Harry Kane will be playing his football next season and why. 20 seconds on the clock.
Harry Kane will be at Manchester City next season because he simply wants to win trophies, and City have won 10 out of the last 15 domestic trophies on offer, which is absolutely incredible. And also, he said himself, he's at the crossroads in his career. He clearly wants to play with Kevin De Bruyne. We saw the quotes during the week. It's the right place to be. The best striker in the league, with the best young player in Phil Foden, the best manager and the best midfielder. Make it happen, Harry.
Of course, Harry Kane wants to sign for Chelsea because it's only just down the road. He gets to move his family just a short distance. You know, it keeps his environment steady and good. And of course, we have a habit of signing players from our rivals in London and then winning things with us. On top of Tuchel, exciting manager, players, young team that's only going to improve and get better. It's a no-brainer for Harry Kane to sign for us.
Harry Kane will be at Tottenham next season for the main fact that we have him locked down in a 3-year contract. He signed a 6-year contract in total. He's on huge wages, and if he wanted out, he wouldn't have given Spurs that much power. It's almost impossible for Manchester City, United or Chelsea to prize him away from Tottenham this season. Why wouldn't they wait another season and give themselves a real chance of signing him?
Harry Kane wants to sign for Manchester United. Why? Because he's ambitious. He wants to turn this club back to the glory days that it once was. He always wanted to come to a bigger club. There is no bigger than Manchester United in the country, probably in the world. So Harry Kane is coming to Manchester United.
The first thing I want to do before we get into the debate is that, honestly, collectively, we don't want Harry Kane to sign for City. That would be a joke. Like, it'd be... There should be rules against monopolising the best players and best managers because you might as well give them the league and the Champions League next year if they sign Harry Kane. Right, just wanting to get it off my chest.
Go on then, I'll take it.
Get it off my. Of course you take it. But you know what? You might take it, Stephen. Right? You might take it, but what you're doing there, mate, is you take it. You're that's essentially the equivalent of the European Super League. You're doing. You're removing all competition by just chucking money at Harry Kane.
Welcome to capitalism.
It's disgusting. It's pathetic, and I'm sick of Manchester City.
I'll be honest.
Anyway,
sorry, it's my fault. Obviously, clearly, directly my fault there.
It is your fault, Stephen.
I've allowed it. Yeah. Well, do you know what? That's life, man, and that's the way City operate these days. And to be honest, it's not City's fault. Well, I guess slightly is that Kane's even feeling the way he does at the moment. He's had plenty of opportunities. You guys got past us in the Champions League. You had the opportunity then to keep Harry Kane happy, but you didn't take it. And that ain't on us, man. That's on you guys, is what I will say. And Harry Kane, he is in my opinion, where he is. And it's going to be difficult, by the way, for it to happen. I totally agree. He's played himself into a corner with the 3-year contract. 3 years left in his contract. I think it was his brother's idea. That well done, your brother. Big move, very clever. But either way,
it's not like he earned a fortune out of it. He's on 200 grand a week. He had a massive signing on bonus. If you don't want to be in this position, don't take the money. He's been paid handsomely.
To be fair, Pochettino was at this time. You're doing pretty well, and then obviously, Daniel Levy decided to go for Mourinho because he wanted a bit of glory and all that kind of stuff. And look, that's not worked out particularly well for Harry, has it?
No. Let me ask you a question. Why would he go to Man? Like, this isn't what Man City do. I know they spend money, but they don't spend world record money.
Well, look, Aguero's just left.
They never have before.
Aguero's just left. And when you lose someone like Aguero, who is, in my opinion, the greatest natural striker in the Premier League history, then when you lose someone like that, you have to replace someone with the quality. And City don't do that. You're right. We usually spend around 50, 60 million. We've done a lot of those kind of like never broken a record kind of signings. But to be honest, maybe that's why. I mean, if City do, and it's a big if, and City have got a big game this weekend, if that happens and it'd be somehow in the Champions League final, we've won the league, that's probably when you do a signing like that, when you're on top and when you can afford to replace Sergio Aguero. And to be honest, we have to make a statement. And like I actually think if you're going to lose Aguero, you have to replace Aguero with someone like Harry Kane or something like that. And that's why you do it.
But you could win the league. You could win the league next season without spending £150 million on Kane. You could buy another striker and still win the league. Why put that investment in? That's the only reason I don't see him going to Man City.
No, I agree. We probably could. At the same time, I guess you got to strive for excellence, haven't you? You've got to try. There's an element as well, I guess, of trying to crush your rivals a little bit. It's brutal, and I'm very lucky to be able to sit there and say this, but there is an element of that, man. I would rather Harry Kane wasn't at United or Chelsea or whatever. With all due respect to Spurs, I would rather that. So, I'm personally more towards the Haaland camp because he's a longer signing, but Kane is an insane player. And one thing we know about Kane from a Manchester City fan's perspective is that he does it in this league. We know that. It's and I guess that's why Man City would do it as well. There's almost zero risk there of Harry Kane being absolutely brilliant in the Premier League. And also, Harry Kane's quotes the other day. This is a direct quote from Harry Kane. When I watch De Bruyne play, he's a special player. And some of the balls I see him putting for City are just a striker's dream, if I'm honest. He's an outstanding player with the ball, off the ball, pressing, but his delivery is as good as I've ever seen, to be honest. He wants to play with Kevin De Bruyne. And you're right, Mason said the other day, of course everyone does. But what I'm saying is, put him alongside De Bruyne, put him alongside Phil Foden and Mahrez and so on. And I think all of a sudden that dream of his to score 50 goals a season becomes very, very real. So I can see why he's tempted.
Keane, why does he go to Manchester United?
Well, it's really simple. I think I think some of the times when we look at players, we make the assumption that it's just they're going to go to the team that is going to bring the most trophies over their career, which is obviously what he's going for. But I think a key factor is the size and the prestige of the club. Growing up, Manchester United, look, as much as we say as a joke and we laugh about it, it's an important factor. That's the reason why Barcelona,
you say every week, so.
Real Madrid, this is the reason why Real Madrid, Barcelona, regardless of not winning the league this season, they're going to be able to attract the best players in the world. Manchester United, with all due respect, we may pay over the odds, but we always manage to attract some of the best players in the world. Nothing's changed here. And I would say the two factors that you've already mentioned, Flav, which has just helped my argument. Two things about City that actually doesn't fit into this mold. Number one, Harry Kane's going to cost at least £100 million. We all know that. At least £100 million. We know Manchester City does not break the bank for one particular player.
When's the last time Manchester United
we do it all the time. We do it for fun. Lukaku, Pogba, Harry Maguire. We do that for fun. That's literally what Manchester United does. We do marquee signings.
Post-COVID?
Are you telling me that Man United spend a lot of money to buy the titles there, by the way? I just want that on record. Is that true?
No.
I just heard that.
No, we do marquee signings. We don't spend 500 million on one position.
Get Sancho over the line.
Look,
you couldn't get Sancho over the line.
Harry Maguire, marquee signing.
Here's the thing. Look, regardless, we're not talking about Harry Maguire today. But look, the fact is, we do marquee signings. We do that. That's what Manchester United does. However, alongside that, the reason why he probably won't go to Manchester City, and I'm confident he'll go to Manchester United, is because, like you said, Manchester City, not only do they not need a Harry Kane, they play with false nines half the time. They don't need a striker like Harry Kane in the middle. It doesn't fit their mold. It doesn't fit particularly the way Pep wants to play in comparison to the way Manchester United play. And that's the fact. I'm saying, look, do not get me wrong. I'm not trying to say he won't fit into Manchester. I'm saying he's a better fit in Manchester United's team. And that's a fact. And that's the reason why I'm confident he'll come to Man United.
The false nine is why we need him, man. We're playing false nine because we've not had a fit Aguero and because Gabriel Jesus is out of form. So we can't do 2 seasons with a false nine and get away with it because it's going to cost us eventually, City. And that's right. So you can't just go into another season going we just won't play without a striker. That ain't going to work.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that because you've had periods when you've had fit strikers, you still choose to go for a false nine when you're playing. But I understand anyway. Look, I get where you're coming from. All I want to say, just to round off, is Harry Kane's not going to make the same mistake that Robinho made when he comes on in the plane, thinks he's going to Man United and ends up at Manchester City. The truth is, when most players have a choice between Manchester City and Manchester United, they choose the red side. They always do. That's a fact.
All right.
Look at the history.
Sure. I mean,
I mean, look,
NiiNii,
Yeah, I feel I need to step in. Yeah, for
you
sure.
do need to step in because you're Chelsea. I've got to say, in terms of money and the financial might, it's probably Chelsea and Man City that do have the edge here. They're the two that would be willing that have the money, whereas Manchester United, despite what you said, Akeem, I can't see them spending 150 million pound on Kane when they wouldn't go out and push the boat out for Jadon Sancho. NiiNii, go on, mate. Why would he? Why on earth would Harry Kane undo everything he's done at Tottenham and sign for Chelsea?
I think, you know what, there's one thing we got to realize about Harry Kane. The reason why he's one of the most in-demand strikers in the world right now is that not only does he score goals, but he creates assists for the team.
Yeah,
those combined goal contributions are ridiculous. And when you break down how he gets the assists, it's because Kane has really stepped up and elevated his entire. He's got a complete game now. He drops deep.
He's the best number 9 in the world.
He drops deep. He creates space for the wingers alongside him to run into and creates opportunities for them. And he's
I know
he's
why
a complete
Chelsea
forward.
want to sign him.
Yeah, for sure.
Why would he want to go to Chelsea, NiiNii?
Yeah, of course. But the reason why I just wanted to bring that up is obviously, this here and Akeem saying that, he wouldn't suit like a false 9 system. I think the reason why Kane is a striker every club's looking at is because you can kind of do anything you want with him because he's that complete and he complements so many different tactical setups, etc. And I think, when you're talking about tactical setups, I think this is where Kane can really complement working alongside of Thomas Tuchel. I feel like signing Harry Kane could really complement some of the 4 players we have already. And potentially that Champions League final next week, if we beat Man City and win, that could play a massive part potentially in persuading Kane. You know what? Don't think that you're going to be signing for Chelsea and it's going to be more of the same as it was at Spurs. Another project there. You're hoping there's going to be success in the end and it doesn't come. This is a real deal. You're going to be able to just easily transition your family just down the roads in London, playing with players that you can win things with. They compete for trophies, titles year in, year out. And you're going to be set in that position because, who's going to be competing alongside him? So I do feel like Kane signing for us could be great, not only for him, allowing him to do what he does best, but it will just take our team to a different level. I think we'll take his career to a different level as well. And yeah, I just think that he could be a great striker for us.
I just think I agree he'd be a great striker for you. I just think that there'd be easier deals out there for Chelsea than Harry Kane.
I wouldn't say so. I think obviously clubs like us,
Chelsea to get done.
Yeah. I think
it's easier for them to sign Haaland than it is Harry Kane.
Is it though?
Why wouldn't you?
I'm not too sure. I think right now the market for proper elite world-class strikers is very small. I think Lukaku.
No, I appreciate it, but I just think I think he understands the significance of him leaving us to go to Chelsea. And that's why he wouldn't do it. As much as he wants to potentially go on and achieve great things, and I appreciate it. And if I take my Spurs hat off, I can understand completely why he'd want to go and join Man City next summer. Not this summer, next summer.
Why would he want to not join this summer, though? Why would he not join this summer?
It's not about what he wants. This is about his position.
So you're happy to have a happy Harry Kane just hanging around, going against Daniel Levy's word, by the way, when he said gentleman's agreement and all that kind of stuff. They could leave. So
yeah, you don't know what that means. Like gentleman. Did gentleman's agreement ever come out of Harry Kane's mouth? I'm not sure it did.
Well, you know what? For this deal, if we were to sign Harry Kane, I think a major part in making that a possibility is going to be players being involved in the deal. That's the only way I could see that deal getting done. There's players that Spurs like from us that we could easily put in a part exchange plus money. There's been rumours of Tammy Abraham and many other players as well that we've been looking at. I think potentially, it's a situation where both parties could benefit. So, I think I'm going to keep it real. Of course, it's going to be stupidly hard, close to impossible. But I still think there's a massive possibility that, Levy is a businessman, whatever benefit he can get, the most money, players to help Spurs, I think he'll possibly entertain that.
Just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who joined in the Hold the L mini league this season. Top of the month this month, as you can see from the standings there, I'm top of the tree, which means I win £250. But don't worry, I'll make sure it goes to a good home. A massive congratulations to Dennis Costello. Also, he finished top overall, which shows that he is the guy that knows his onions when it comes to football. Remember, if you haven't played, you can still download the Super 6 app and join the game next season when it starts all over again. 18+, terms and conditions apply.
Holding the L this week is Flav. Spurs, look, they've been Spursy this season as always. Harry Kane has finally just kind of woken up and realised that he's not going nowhere at Spurs. He's not going to win anything at the club, and he needs to go to a bigger club that's going to deliver the trophies like Manchester United. So Flav's definitely holding the L this week.
Holding the L this week has to be NiiNii. There is absolutely zero chance that Harry Kane would ever join Chelsea. He's done too much at the football club. I get he might have ambitions to go elsewhere, but I don't think he'll join Chelsea as a way of destroying any tradition and any goodwill that he's built up at Spurs.
Unfortunately, this week, Flav has to hold the L. Obviously, I relate to the situation. I felt similar when Eden Hazard left to sign for Real Madrid. Seeing one of your star players leave, it's not good. But, I just think that the reality is that Kane, for the way he's improved and become such a star, it's only right for him now to really, believe in himself, push on and really maximise his potential. So, yeah.
Holding the L this week has to be Flav. I'm sorry, mate. I guess the parallel I'll draw is look at Aguero's exit this week. A Premier League legend and an icon. And Kane is that, but he doesn't have that moment yet. And if he's got any sense, he should be pushing for a move to Manchester City, because that's where he'll write his name in the stars, basically.
All right, that was it went exactly how I thought it would go, and that's because Pete, you weren't listening to what I was saying. You were just you're just sort of spouting your own agenda. You three are clueless. Harry, not only is Harry Kane going to stay at Spurs, he's going to sign a new contract.
Wow.
Next season.
What word did you just use?
We've won the
Clueless,
league.
was it? Agenda? Clueless?
We're going to get. I'll tell you what's going to happen to Spurs. We're going to get a new manager. I don't know who it might be, but someone good, right? He's going to come in, and Harry Kane's mind's going to be blown by the tactics, and he's going to go, do you know what? I can get everything I need at Spurs.
Big Sam,
And he woke up.
Yeah.
Then I woke up. No, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, boys. This is a horrendous discussion to have. And I genuinely think the only reason that Harry Kane would say this season is because it would be difficult for another club to buy him.
Yeah.
And there are other options out there, but inevitably he will leave Tottenham. So I guess I've got to just hold the L this week. I mean, you can go over to the community tab and vote for us. But given I've already held the L, was it 5 times this week? Is there any point? Probably not. Yeah, anything to add, boys?
You look sad, mate. You look sad.
Yeah.
I'm just, do you know what? It's been a long season,
Yeah.
and I thought that at the end of the season, that'll be end of all the commotion. I should be able to get on with my Euros. But Harry Kane's name's going to be in the bloody newspapers every single day, isn't he? Until he goes or stays or whatever it might be.
It's going to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be great. All right, boys, it's been a wonderful time chatting through all these different topics over the last few weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Yeah, that's it for Hold the L for now.